More and more people are deciding to leave the city. There's a lot of crazy things that are going on right now. And we actually left the city a few years ago. So I can give you my feedback and how, regardless if you have money, no money, if you run businesses, if you're wealthy, poor, whatever, this move is very possible and very easy to do. You can leave the city, still operate a business or a franchise. You can flip real estate, or if you're still working, there are now hundreds of virtual gigs, many more than there ever have been before. So this is what $2.5 million will buy you in the city of Vancouver. $2.5 million. Now, take a look at this place outside the city. It's on the East Coast. You've got a waterfront home sitting right there on the water, your own private boat launch, your own private fish pond, beautiful architectural wood ceilings. Now, admittedly, it's a little bit dated, this house, but very cool place. You've got an indoor pool and a solarium. This house listed at $399,000. That's about 290,000 US dollars. Now, there's locations outside the cities across the US and Canada where you can buy anything waterfront with indoor pools, giant homes, mansions for a fraction of the price that you're going to pay in the city. Now, if mansions aren't your thing, you can buy a pretty normal traditional house with a mortgage of about $500 a month with a small down payment. In the major cities, you're now paying 5 times that amount, even just for rent, never mind a mortgage. And a junky house costs you over $1 million. Now, if you live in the city now and you own a home, you can sell your house, buy a mansion in the country, with the money left over, buy 6 or 7 rental properties, and you're done. In the city, you can't retire unless you have at least $2 million in the bank. Now, here's an actual listing for a rental property out in the country, $29,000, and it's got $750 a month rent that's coming in. Now, in the city, most young people are priced out of the market. In the country, anyone can be a real estate owner and an investor. And also, you've got to think long term. If more and more people start to leave the cities, what is going to happen to the real estate prices in the country? Now, if you want to leave the city and you have no money or you can't get a mortgage for whatever reason, it's very easy to find someone who will vendor finance. There's a lot of sellers in these areas who can't find buyers. You can offer a premium over their selling price. Many will hold a mortgage. You can also find free mini homes that are being given away. Just find a small plot of land, plop it down there, get yourself an at-home telemarketing gig. They are always looking for people, and bang, you're in the country, in your own house, and you can start building your at-home business, writing your book, whatever you want to do. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, you can absolutely run pretty much any business remotely. There's software that can track everything at your fingerprints today. I get dressed every morning. I do all my business via webcam and over the phone. We do business all around the world, never have to leave the house. Now picture this. You close a big business deal, or you wrap up a difficult call with a client, whatever. You walk outside and you pick a fresh strawberry directly from the plant. You then pick a fresh organic apple off your own tree, walk through the forest, down to the beach. The sun is shining. You have zero stress. This actually happened to me, and it was when I realized I will never leave the country. This is too amazing. How can you ever have a bad day? And when this happened, I realized somewhere out there are people who are stuck in traffic, racing up escalators, down elevators, dodging fellow commuters. You really don't realize how much stress there actually is living in the city until you leave. There are places all over the country with forests by the water, everything you could ask for rent or purchase that can be had for a fraction of what you pay in the city for your lousy box apartment. Any job, even minimum wage, you can afford it. And there are many virtual gigs out there right now. You could quit your job today, find a place somewhere out in the country. By next week, you could have a new virtual gig, breathing in fresh country air, growing strawberries and apples, and starting to build your home-based business. There's also all these other costs related to living in the city. They charge you even for water. I think we paid $120 a month just for water, and it's water that's got chlorine, fluoride. They're finding medications in the water right now. In the country, your water is free, and it's your own water that comes directly from your own spring. In the city, if you make $150,000, $200,000, you're poor. You're not saving anything. Mortgage, car payments, taxes, insurance rate, everything is higher. You are completely reliant on your house equity going up forever to fund your financial growth or your retirement. Now, a little tip, it's not going to go up forever. Now, also because you are so rushed all the time, you're always having to eat out. That costs money as well. In the country, you have time to cook. If you choose, you have time to grow your own herbs and vegetables and berries and eat healthy foods. Now, if you left the city, bought your country mansion, you can still afford to buy a boat, snowmobile, jet ski. You could fly to Monaco twice a year and still save money over living in the city. And it's funny because in the city, you need to work like crazy to make money to pay for all these things you deserve because you worked like crazy. It's like this hamster wheel, right? And it's funny because every second needs to be scheduled and accounted for, even the days off, or you feel that you're missing out on something. It really gets exhausting. In the country, everything slows down. Society makes you feel like a lesser person if you're not working hard, if you're not hustling like crazy, if you're not giving 100%. Little secret, right now, I'm not even giving 20%. We lived in Toronto for years, never knew my neighbor's name. The first day we moved here, one of the locals came over, introduced themselves, brought over fresh lobster. Now, I'm not saying people aren't helpful or nice in big cities, but there's very much a community vibe out in the country. Now, in the city, someone's child trips and falls on your sidewalk. They're likely to sue you. Here, they brush the kid off and they move along. There is a tension in the city of things that you can't say, things you can't do, things you can't think. People are very tightly wound up. You really don't notice how much so until you're away from it. Now, there's a misperception that country people are all uncultured, unsophisticated, intolerant, or even backward. Some areas might be. I can't speak for everyone, but we see the opposite here. I saw far more intolerance in the city than I've ever seen here. Now, you might ask, what about people from other cultures or from other races? Again, I can't speak to every small town, but we've had people move here from other cultures and races. They were very warmly welcomed, like anybody else who was new to the community here. I will give you a tip, regardless of what race or culture you're from, if you decide to move to a small town, don't pull up in your Bentley and build an 8-bedroom house. You're always going to be that city person, that outcast, and people are going to wonder what you're trying to prove. If you leave the city, leave your pretensions behind. And then we've got the economy. Is it going to crash? Will it keep going? Are there going to be service interruptions? I don't know. But I know that when you have your own apple trees, berry bushes, and neighbors who are farmers and fishermen, you're pretty safe no matter what happens. Plus, when your expenses are so low, you can literally do anything and pay the bills. The dollar can devalue, stocks can become worthless, the economy can collapse. You're completely safe, and that's really a beautiful feeling. People ask, what can you do in the country? Whatever you want. You can leisurely write that book, you can write music, you can learn a new language, you can build that blog or online business, start a YouTube channel. You can grow berries, vegetables, make wine, do yoga, fix up an old car, go hiking, buy a dirt bike, build your own rustic kitchen table, go boating, pack up, take a vacation anytime. There's a million things that you can do, or more importantly, to not do if you don't want to do it. I never thought in a million years I would want to live in the country. It was the best decision that we ever made. And here's the single greatest thing about this lifestyle. Everybody has bad days. You wake up, you just can't face the day. Here, you don't have to. You take the day off, cancel a couple of calls, and you just chill. Now, city logic is going to tell you that's selfish. Get out there every day and overcome every obstacle, give 200%, smash through all those barriers. But why though? Right now across the country, there are hundreds of small towns, great locations with cheap living, fresh air, virtual business opportunities that are accessible to anybody. You just have to set those wheels in motion. Now, if this subject is of interest to anybody out there who's watching, I can cover it in greater detail, what we've been doing for investing and everything else on my other channel. I'm going to place that link above here. Feel free to hop over there and subscribe if you like. Thank you very much for watching.